I just changed this setting in 3 places. Now I have to make sure that the microphone isn't covered. Oh, I cannot work this out, folks. I cannot work this out. Okay. I'm not going to do battle with this orientation. If someone in chat can let me know whether I'm the right way up as you're watching, I'd appreciate it. And I'll begin. Quick view of Tina, if we can. Hey, babe. Oh, don't start screaming just as I turn the camera. Hey, babe. Show the peoples. Tina. Tina. Stop, girl. Stop. Stop now. Didn't bring any treats this time. But then she's feeding. I apologise about the screen orientation, folks. There's really nothing I can do. I've just adjusted the setting in what looked like 3 places. Set it to be horizontal. Yeah. Set it to be landscape, and we're in portrait again. Yeah, at least I'm the right way up on the screen as you're watching. It's just not what I was trying to do. Okay, folks. Oh, my table's wobbling. Why is that? Because my chopping board's bent. Of course it is. Okay, folks. This will be episode 45 of TrampCast, Sunday the 15th of 2024. I am Delta Mike. The channel is Down and Out in Torrevieja. Down and out. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, a bum, some will say, someone who sleeps rough, or on the streets, or in my case, in a field. Fortunately, I've now got a tent, although it's starting to fall apart. So that was Down and Out. And Torrevieja, a city on the southeast coast of Spain. As I said, this is episode 45, not including the specials. Okay. I don't think there are many of you out there, but thumbs up are appreciated. See, look, the chat's like a quarter of the bottom of the screen, and it's using the top 2 inches of the screen, and there's a big band unused in the middle. I really cannot fathom it. I don't know if it's my phone. It must just be me, because if it was more, people would be all over YouTube about it. I don't know. Okay, guys. If everybody could say hello in chat. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And what's the other part I always say? Oh yeah, in case you're joining late, check for the word live in the bottom left hand corner. Hello there, El Mundo de Soraya. Hello, hello. But as I was just saying, if you're arriving late, check for the live dot in the bottom left hand corner. You want to see a red dot to bring you up to date with us. Where are we? Let's make a beginning. I do kind of have an announcement I want to make, but I'm not really comfortable doing it, so I'll leave that for now, and maybe do it later, maybe not. I'm not sure. So as I said, this is episode 45 of TrampCast, and we begin each week with a section of facts involving the number 45. The number 45 is a triangular number involving all the numbers from 1 to 9, 1 plus 2 plus 3, etc. up to 9. It's also the sum of the first of the 10 single digits, 0 to 9. But that kind of follows with triangular numbers. But these are all the singular digits and none of the double digits. 45 revolutions per minute used to be the speed of a gramophone record, if we're going to use granddad terminology. I believe a 45 was a single, the little ones. From memory, 33 RPM was for the LPs, albums, etc. And old folk would remember, I'm going to say 72, but I don't know where I'm pulling that from, so I might be getting that from out of my backside. 45 minutes is each half of a football match, soccer to our American cousins, but the proper game, the real one, the one where it all began. 45th wedding anniversary is Sapphire. Okay, we've got 2 facts for Julius Caesar. He seems to be becoming a regular around now, the last few weeks. Tina, go. Tina, if you don't stop, I'm going to get angry. You can't scratch continuously. Fortunately, the days are getting a little bit cooler. Summer has broken and it should start to settle down. Okay, where was that? Julius Caesar. We got 2 facts about Julius. In 45 BC, the Julian calendar came into effect. The one that we're pretty much still using, I think, yeah. Oh no, Gregorian came afterwards. Is that the one we're using? I can't remember. And Julius Caesar was also named dictator for life. So yeah, that was the end of the end of one period of Rome and the beginning of the beginning of another, wasn't it? Okay, 1745 in Britain, the Jacobite uprising began. Now, I meant to look up what that was. I ran out of time. I didn't get around to it. I could have pontificated a bit more about it. Tina, no. Tina, no. No barking at the peoples. I could have pontificated a bit more about it, but yeah, I didn't get around to looking it up. Where are we? A couple of facts for the for those stateside. The 45th president was Donald J. Trump, and the 45th state to join the Union was Utah. You keep doing this to me, Jack Attack. JC. Oh, Julius Caesar. Where are we? Where am I? 45 international direct dialing codes will get you Denmark. Don't meet many Danes over here. We got a lot of Swedes, Norwegians, and Finns. We get a few Finns, but we don't get many Danes in Spain, or at least not in Torrevieja. A few, but not many. 1945, the year that World War II ended. And here we go with, we always have one. This time from the periodic table, the atomic number 45, rhodium, with the symbol RH. The name comes from the Greek word for rose. And this is because the metal has a pinkish hue. A noble metal. It resists corrosion. Obviously, a noble metal means it's resistant to reaction. It doesn't react with very many things. Which means it's usually found naturally, as in raw in nature. It's often found just, you know, on its own, or as an alloy, but not as a compound. Not usually. It's usually just mixed, melted in with other metals. Yeah, gold. Yeah, it's okay. One of the rarest and most valuable precious metals, along with gold, platinum, and others. Discovered in 1803, and its main use, 80% of all of the mined rhodium is used in catalytic converters. It's inert and resists corrosion, which means when it is used, it's often alloyed with either platinum or palladium and applied in particularly high temperature and corrosion resisting scenarios, usually as coatings on other metals. It's used sometimes in jewellery as a coating on white gold and sterling silver. Hi Vicky. The wrenches means that the people with wrenches are moderators. They have power to time people out and ban them and such things. Post links and things like that. Okay folks, that was the numbers section for this episode 45 of TrampCast. Okay, after the numbers, we move on to the thank yous. These are the thank yous for episode 45 of TrampCast, broadcast Sunday, September the 15th, 2024. It's been a quiet week, so there's not too much going on. But I had a visit from a bloke. I'll call him Michael, but he was also Mick and Mike. He didn't have a preference for name. So there was no settling. But he came, it was the first visit, and introduced himself, and came and we had a lovely chat. Spent a bit of time together that afternoon. I think it was the Monday. Like I said, it's been a quiet week, so I didn't really make many notes. And then by the end of the week, I couldn't remember what happened when. So this is all a little bit from memory. So you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good. Okay, thank you, Mick Mike. Thank you, my friend. Want to see you again when you come back next time. My friend Ismo came around today. Quick visit, just to, well, it was twofold, but it was to say goodbye, because he's going back to Finland in the morning, in the night, really. But he also needed to pick up a few things that he got stored here. But it's good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you, Ismo. And it's going to be quite a while before I see you again, from the looks of things. So have a good trip home. And thank you for everything while you were here this time, Ismo. Couldn't have got by without you, my friend. And the other one, my friend Karen and her family. This week marked the anniversary of our first, well, two things: our first online meeting, and then our first real world meeting, when she came to the park and cut my hair. And she's been ever present in these Trampcasts ever since, and in my life. She's become a great friend and helped me, her and her family, not just her, but the whole family, helped me so much during those visits to Torrevieja. So thank you, Karen and family. Okay, folks, those were the thank yous for this week. Now, the themes for this week. Tina girl. Tina, you can't just scratch your nose like that, darling. Dog. Oh, now it's her ear. Tina! I'm getting sick of hearing your name and I'm the only one saying it. Okay, folks, the themes for this past week are... I've lost them. I've lost my spot. Where are we? the weather in a couple of ways. But as I just said a few moments ago, summer has broken. Summer has I'm not going to say it's not departed entirely, but you can feel a distinct cooler air. I think last night might have been our first night in about 4 months where the nighttime temperature fell below 20 degrees. If it didn't happen last night, it'll happen tonight. But so the what do they call them? They have a word for it when you have a period of time where the nights all stay above 20 Celsius. Tropical nights. Those have been broken, and we've now got this distinctly cooler feeling air with a cooler breeze. It's not so much that it's colder per se, but the breeze has got that cooler edge of just a few degrees. And a lot of the days this week have been cloudy. Not today, which is good because that means I could get on with some cooking. I need the sun for the solar to power the slow cooker. If I cook by any other means, I'll get in trouble. So yeah, so the weather breaking. We also had a bit of rain one night. I'll get to it when we get into the details of the week. I will cover that because my door doesn't close, and it's an arched tent. So when the rain runs off the roof and then it hits an area that hasn't got fabric, it's not just on the edge of the tent. It's a fair way into the tent. I could have, if I'd known it was going to rain, or if I'd not been as asleep as I was when it happened, I could have probably jury-rigged something, but I was so tired that night. I dreamt that it was raining. I didn't actually muster and actually get out of bed to do anything. I didn't realise it was raining for real. It was raining in my dreams. Not in my heart, but in my dreams. Okay. Here was a strange one. I'll be staying in Spain for a period, Anders. I have no way back at present. Legal troubles hanging over me. Yeah, there's no easy passage to a way home that I can see or work out as yet. Okay. Here was a thing that happened that struck me. It's not really a theme of the week, but I'll put it here because it doesn't really belong anywhere else. I lost my phone for about an hour and was really quite concerned. Now, 99.9% of times when I lose something, it's inside the tent. So something's happened and I've had to rush out of the tent and I've put my phone down somewhere and I've not made a proper mental note of where I've put it. So when I get back and I get into my usual position and my phone's not there, Tina girl, Tina, leave people alone. Leave the nice people alone. Just wave, Tina. Wave at the nice people. Okay. No barking, Tina. No barking. Yeah, so normally when I get back into the tent and get into position and realise that my phone's not in its usual stand because I've had it in my hand when I've got up or whatever, I'll remember where it is. Oh, there's 2 or 3 like standard places I might have put it. No, not this time. It wasn't there. And I'm turning the place upside down. I'm getting worried that I might have had it in my hand when I'd rushed out to tackle whatever it was, and that I've put it down outside or dropped it or no. So I started having these thoughts about how I'm cut off from the world again. Like without my phone, there's no YouTube, there's no email, there's no entertainment. YouTube and downloading programs is my entertainment. I do have a tablet, but it's very limited. It's old and no internet connection or anything. So I could still, in theory, watch whatever I've got stored on there. But no, I was really starting to get worried that I was going to be cut off from the world again, and I started to remember those 4 or 5 months I had the last time when my phone got damaged in a flood, and I spent 4 months with no real contact with the world. Tina, I've had enough now. Tina, stop it. I don't know if you can hear her actually. She's moved closer. She's just here, but scrat, like for 5-10 minutes at a time, if I let her. Where was I? Yeah, really starting to worry about the lost phone. So I start making kind of drastic measures. I start emptying places out and piling stuff up at one end of a room instead of the other end of a room in the different parts of the tent. Basically, it's in 3 sections, but the bedroom's obviously taken up by a big double bed. But I've got blankets and stuff piled up. I've got clothes on there for if we have a storm. I've got coats and, you know, heavy weather clothing piled up on the bed. So it's always been a disorganized, well, no, it's been an organized mess. But because I started throwing stuff around and moving stuff around, show and Scruff, hey Scruff. But no, because I'd lost my phone, I started to panic a bit, and I was throwing stuff around the room. I wasn't just moving it around nicely. But I found it in the end, face up on the floor, but something had fallen off the bed over the top, a cover or a towel or something. So I'm looking around and it, fuck. But that just gave me that feeling of dread that I was going to be cut off from the world again. Without the phone, I'm sunk. I'm gone. So yeah, that was like I said, it's not really a theme of the week, but it was just one of those incidents that happens that just makes you stop and think. Now another theme for the week, Tina. Not just saying Tina to make you stop. Stop it. If I have to get up, it'll all go to shit. The brolly will fall over, it'll knock all the table over. I've checked her for ticks and fleas. I did find one little hoppy insect inside the tent the other day, which made me think. But I'm thinking mainly it's the heat, or has been the heat, and now it might be just a habit. She might, through summer, she's just become a bit more. I'll check again. I'll keep checking, but so far I haven't found anything on her that would explain it. But we'll see. We'll keep monitoring. So yeah, I was just saying, Tina has been the theme of the week. Babe, come on. We've just sat inside for hours and she didn't do it. And we've come outside, and as soon as we come out, she starts. That's it. You stay there and look at me. That's a good girl. That's my good girl. Now you can be good. I knew you could be a good girl. Show these nice people what a good girl you can be. Eh? No, there's nothing in that bucket. That's not your water anymore. Okay, so Tina was a big theme for the week, folks, for a number of reasons, but mainly I did 2 TrampCast specials on the theme of dogs in general and Tina in particular. Tina girl, shush. So that's one reason that she's been a theme of the week, and the other is her, what I consider to be her deterioration, the unsteadiness of her legs. Yeah, definitely getting worse. We had to go to the supermarket, and it was a real struggle for her this time. We have to go uphill most of the way, and she finds it a lot easier coming downhill because she doesn't have to lift her legs as far to stop her nails and tops of her foot dragging on the floor on the road. But the collapses, that when the back end collapses and she's knocking things over in the tent and things. Yeah. See, I'm trying to put something in her water to help. And she keeps spilling the bowl. As she turns her, it's quite cramped in there, but as she turns around to come away from the water and back into the bedroom, she'll turn around, and as her back end's alongside the water bowl, a drinking bowl, one of her legs will collapse and she'll either step into the bowl or on the rim of the bowl. If she steps in, a little bit of spillage and a wet foot. But if she steps on the rim, we've got a spilt a widow with a room. Not that's offered it to me. No. But no, so we're the tent's quite cramped, and I'm going to have a sort out and just throw. I've got to be ruthless. Some things I've maybe been hoarding just in case, but they're taking up space. Maybe I'll have to bite the bullet and get rid of. Make a bit of extra room. But no, Tina was one of the focuses of the week. Another one, and this one's a bit weird. We're at this time of year where by the end of summer the flies have been building and building, but by now they should be dying off a bit. But well, you'll notice that the last few weeks I've said about the end of TrampCast, we've gone straight into the tent because of the number of flies out here. But this week we've had a lot of flies in the tent. And I thought I must have had some food going off. And I did have. I found 2 potatoes that one had gone a bit manky on the end, like soft and squidgy and really smelly, and I had one smaller potato where the entire thing was I had to pick it up so carefully, and my fingers still kind of went into it a little bit. But I had visions of it just kind of exploding on my hand. It was the entire thing was wet and gooey. But after I got rid of those, I've searched all the other like fresh food, everything that might go off that I can think of or find. It's always possible I've got another bag of something somewhere, but now I opened the bedroom door one morning, and a number of flies on. I got wire meshes, the mosquito nets. Like I said, the one door here doesn't close properly, but it's got mosquito net inside, and the other side's fully closed mosquito net. It's got a door, but I've been leaving the outer doors open anyway because of the heat. But Tina's broken the mosquito net on this side, turned it into, I think it was Jack Attack called it a dog flap, so that she can just get in and out straight through the door. Not through the doorway, but through the door. So yeah, so that means that the flies can still get in even when the mosquito net's closed. I had to go at one point at stitching it up, but the attempt failed because Tina kept pushing and forcing it back open again. My stitching wasn't good enough for the job, and she would have carried on trying and just caused more damage, so I just let it be. But that does mean that we do get flies in, and there's something been attracting them in. And yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I thought when I found the potatoes that would be that, and you know, that would be it done, and not quite. I did have a couple of leeks and a little bit of celery that were going at the ends. I've chopped those off and got rid of the ends. Today I'm cooking most of the rest, but no, I'm not quite sure there's still more flies in there than I would expect. I haven't found the cause yet. It'll be something and nothing, but more than likely another bag of potatoes or something somewhere. I sometimes lose track when I've just bought a bag and then somebody brings me some. It can get a bit confusing. And that's what always happens. If I spend my valuable, precious last money on a last shop and buy something, someone will turn up the next day with another half bag of whatever it was. You know, I appreciate and I'm thankful for the help. It's just the unfortunate timing. So yeah, Themes for the week. Is there another? Flies. My mood. Yeah, I said I'd not made any notes this week. I had to sit down yesterday and today and try and backfill the notebook, you know. So it's possible some of these events I'll assign to the wrong day or have misremembered. But my mood was off. I just wasn't in it. Tina, you're throwing up a cloud of dust, babe. My mood just wasn't in it. It's been like, when I say a quiet week, I'd also say a boring week, I guess. Apart from doing the TrampCasts on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's been a bit of a slow one. I haven't been anywhere, I haven't done anything. Tina can't really go anywhere. We've been to the supermarket maybe twice in the week, maybe once early on and once at the end. So yeah, it's a little tricky, but she knows now. People going past in a car really slowly, having a good gulp. But yeah, my mood just wasn't there. I've lay on the bed day in, day out, because that's the coolest point in the tent, down on the floor more or less. And I just watch YouTube videos. I even missed a midweek live stream that I wanted to watch. I don't know if Scruff's still here. Sorry, mate. I missed the final Lego build. Johnny number 5. I was going to say number 8. I don't know where I was getting that from. But I missed it entirely. Don't know. But wrong mood, wrong sleep pattern, just wrong everything. Out of sorts, worried about my doggy. Oh, Tina. We're going to have another look. Stop it, babe. Stop. Come here. Come here. Stop. Okay, folks, I think that's all the themes for this last week. Me and my my malaise, I guess you would call it. It's not a depression. That's more medical as far as I understand things, but it's just an out of sortsness. I think in part, a couple of weeks ago, I had kind of 3, maybe 4 really good friends here in Spain, and now they've all either gone or, well, they will have by tomorrow morning. By sunrise tomorrow, all my closest kind of friends will have gone back to their various home countries. I have still got a couple of people here, but they're newer acquaintances mainly. But there's 1 or 2 that are fairly close with still. But it's just it just adds to that general there, you know. Okay, folks, that is the end of the themes for this week. Okay, I don't think it's going to be a long one this week. As I said, there's not too much to talk about unless you come up with questions or something that I can expand on a little bit. But if you're sitting comfortably at 34 minutes in, then we'll begin. And we begin, as we usually do, with last Sunday after TrampCast. Now, I enjoyed last week's show, but we had this same shenanigans with the orientation, me being unable to master YouTube's settings. It's either me being unable to master them, something wonky with my phone and the gyros or whatever it is, the sensors that are monitoring orientation. Oh, there's just something really, really wrong at, I think maybe at YouTube's end, but maybe there'd be more people involved. But other than the, did I do about 20 minutes sideways on? Other than that, I enjoyed last week's TrampCast. But yeah, the portrait landscape shenanigans is starting to do my head in a bit. Yeah, that was the other thing as well. My head was like half off the screen most of the show. I was kind of zoomed in too close and badly positioned, and what it was showing me on screen didn't match what it was showing me on screen didn't match what came out in the video in the end. Tim Churu. Do I know any natives? I've met quite a few over my time here, yeah. But when my problems began and rumours circulated around, people calling me a liar and claiming I don't. Whoa, we're getting you in triplicate. As I was saying, when my troubles started and rumours went around, people started calling me a liar. Then those people cut themselves off from me. Do you like any native sports? I don't really know any. Native sports in Spain. I can't think of any. Bull running? No. Running with the bulls, you mean? Or bullfighting? No. No. I'm not sure what's going on with chat. You're kind of, I don't know if you're spamming it accidentally or what, but you're coming through. I've got about 5 messages from you, and there's only really 2, I think. I'm going to give you a little timeout just to stop you from spamming the chat. Might just be a technical issue your end, but just for everybody else's benefit, so that it's nothing personal, mate. I don't think you were spamming deliberately, but I think there's probably something gone wrong with your computer or phone or whatever. I had something happen to me similar yesterday. I almost reported a couple of people on. I can't remember whether it was on Big Clive or on Scruff Dog. I think it's Scruff Dog. But I pressed somewhere, and then my phone just started taking all sorts of clicks that I wasn't even doing, and it was bringing up menus and this pop-up screens where you click and you report people and stuff. Fortunately, I didn't actually. It didn't take a second click on the confirmation or whatever. But no, my contact with native people, which is what I think you were asking initially. Most of the natives that I know, it was all part of a tight circle of people who all know each other. And when rumours went around that I was lying about something, lying about my bank account and not being able to access my money, people stopped talking to me. So I stopped talking to them as well. Okay. Back to last Sunday night and the after show. I took Tina for a quick walk because that's usually necessary at some point, and then we went inside to get away from the flies. And at some point, either that night or overnight into the next morning, so possibly Monday morning by the time this happened, I watched back last week's TrampCast 44 or 044. And once I got past my annoyance at the orientation shenanigans, hey babe. Once I got past the orientation shenanigans, I wasn't too unhappy with it. Well, not with the image and the screen was atrocious. As I said, my face was off screen half the time. But my actual talking and my flow was all right. It wasn't too bad. As I said, I quite like watching these back. I quite like this guy. Never used to, but that's okay. So yeah, we're into Monday morning, and I've got pretty much I've got literally no notes for Monday. As I said, my mood wasn't right, but I think this is the day that Mick visited. This isn't me misremembering his name. I think what happened, he introduced himself initially, and then I asked about 5 minutes later because I'm like that, and he said he wasn't bothered between the two, between the Mick and the Mike. So I take the Mick either way. Sorry, Mick Mike. I think this was Monday though, and like I said, we sat and we had a good chat, and yeah, no, I think he said he's going home. I think the next day, and yeah, no, I'll catch him next time hopefully, unless I'm misremembering because, like I said, I didn't do the notes. So basically, that's my notes for Monday, guys. So you can assume it was a long, hot, boring day. I don't think the weather had broken fully at this point. Last week, like not the week I'm talking about, the one before, we had a lot of cloud at the end of the week, and I think it carried on being cloudy, certainly at the start of most days. But usually the sun burns through by noon, and then it gets hot as hell again, you know. But I think the first half of this week we're still fairly warm. The back end is when it gets noticeably cooler. How cold does it get in winter in Spain? Stephanie asks. I had a couple of nights at 4 degrees one winter. Not the one just gone, but the one before. Just gone. The one before. But that was unusual. It's unusual for it to get that cold here. They consider anything below 10 degrees Celsius to be cold. 8, maybe the occasional 6 degrees. So yeah, it doesn't get cold at all. Totally survivable. They had a freak here 4 or 5 years ago in Madrid, which is about on the same level as Torrevieja, but inland. That's in the middle of the country, not the coast. And there, people were dying from the cold 4 or 5 years ago. No. Canada's a whole other kettle of fish, isn't it? There, you die within half an hour of exposure out in the cold. Here, it's really rare. Like I said, there was an extended cold snap in Madrid, and people did start. Poor people who couldn't put the heating on, or people who were living out in the streets, were dying or getting close to death. But yeah, you lot with you. Yeah, those are just crazy. Those are crazy temperatures. Yeah, it doesn't get to freezing here. It snowed once in Torrevieja while I was here, and it was the first time it snowed in Torrevieja in 100 years. That tells you. And it didn't. I mean, it was on the ground for like half an hour or something, but it didn't last. Didn't last. Made for some nice photographs. I want to do something, Nigel. I want to do so for people not watching chat replay. Nigel asks, what plans do you have here for the next few months and going forward in the next year? Do you intend to do something, or are you happy as you are? I'm getting by as I am. I wouldn't say I'm happy as I am. I want to go back to England. I've just got to find a route forward. This legal thing hanging over me, then, because I'm here illegally, how do I get out of the country without being pulled at the airport and given grief? Making the arrangements, getting the money, paying for me, paying for the dog if she hangs on. I don't know. Yes, definitely. Snow is lovely, but it didn't last long. Yeah, we don't get enough here to start shoveling. Maybe back in the north of England where I'm from, but not so much nowadays. When I was a kid, we did. Christ, we used to get 3 foot of snow in a over a weekend or something, and then you'd get snow drifts with it being deeper. Yeah, I remember going to school when I was young, maybe what 7 or 8, going to school in wellies because it was raining heavy, and then over the course of the day it turned to snow, and by the time I was going home, the snow was coming in over the top of my Wellington boots. Cheap, horrible Wellington boots, big floppy openings at the top. You know, not something that fits your foot properly, that fits your leg properly. Okay, folks, let me get back to the. So, okay, I did Monday. There was basically no notes, so I had a lovely chat with Mike, and then we're into Tuesday. Normal morning routine. But then spent the day planning for the TrampCast special I was going to do. Or that I did, I don't know whether to talk about it in the future tense because I'm on Tuesday morning, or whether to talk in the past tense because it's Sunday afternoon now, looking back. I'm mixing my tenses up. But basically most of the day was spent looking up facts about dogs and dreaming up questions and answers about her ladyship over here. Who I can't show you at the minute because she's busy cleaning herself in an intimate area. That's better. You're in public. I wanted to show the nice people, my Tina girl. Tina, here you go, Tina girl. Say hello. Where are you? There you are. That's my Tina girl. But I'm covering the microphone. Let me make sure I don't do this again. Well, I forgot to turn it back to me. What an idiot. Okay, so yeah, writing up the notes and preparing and getting all nervous and, I get a bit keyed up before these live streams. It's a performance to an extent, and there's the preparation of preparing notes, then there's preparing the actual setting up the stream on YouTube, and then hoping it's all going to go right, and then setting up my stage and getting everything out here, the logistics of bringing me, the dog, my drink of cola. Oh, and my can of beer. So there's a lot to do. It's not a lot, but it takes a bit of time to organise and do. So the time comes, 7 p.m, TrampCast special, the Tina special. And there was only going to be one, not 3 like Jack Attack wanted. There was only going to be one TrampCast special. But I managed to pad it out so much and fill time so much that darkness encroached upon us. And we had to call a halt to it when I was only halfway through. And I hadn't even realised. So I got my column of the facts. Like today it was about the number 45. I had facts about dogs. And then I had the questions about Tina, which was going to be the main part. I only got about a third of the way down the facts before I switched to asking the questions. I cut it short and got into the meat of the subject rather than the facts. Don't know, strange one, but it was enjoyable. I had a battle with the YouTube app again. I might experiment with just setting it to portrait and see whether it forces me to do it landscape instead of what I'm doing at the minute, setting it landscape, and it forces me to go portrait. And this is after I've uninstalled and reinstalled Jack Attack, so don't keep and in doing so I lost a whole bunch of settings that I've had to gradually, including keyboard settings and stuff on the phone. Don't know why that happened. But yeah, I don't know. So planning the TrampCast, doing the TrampCast, and I enjoyed it, but it was cut short by fading light, so we said we'd come back the next day and carry on, finish the job. Again, quick walk with the dog and into the tent, so out of the flies, and watch some YouTube videos. Not sure if I watch this one back straight away that night. Probably. I usually, when something's gone wrong, I'm usually more keen to look at it straight away to see how big a disaster it was, see how much it affected things. So yeah, I don't know. But that was basically that was my Tuesday, taken up more or less by when I wasn't doing TrampCast planning and setting it up. I would have snuck in a few YouTube vids. You know, I would have watched an hour of this and an hour of that. You know, that it doesn't take all my day. Okay, Rymac. Happy birthday to Eric Shin, a fan of the show apparently. I can't think why, but God love you, sir. A happy birthday. That's I'll have to open a Cameo account and start charging. Only joking. Tash and Beard's getting ready for a trim again. It's running off. It's only cola. No wine in it this time. But like I said, I've got a can of beer back here. Let's do that. Cheers to the subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber and you want to be included in the cheers, hit the button. Why not? It's free. Okay. Trevor Coult, MC, Military Cross winner. I borrowed that from. Okay, as I said, I'm not sure whether I watched the TrampCast, but into Wednesday, and definitely feeling cooler now and cloudier from Wednesday onwards this week. Definitely. Even if, like I said, even if in the sun is warm, the breeze has just got you can feel 4 or 5 degrees cooler. You can just feel it. And as I said, the nights now are starting to get down to 20 Celsius. The days will stay warm. I mean, right into I've sat out here at Christmas or Christmas Eve once. I was outside a bar, and through the day in the park that I used to go to, it would still get above 25 some days. But it wouldn't be 30 every day, all day, every day. And the time that it was warm, sorry, I'm waving the brolly around and I don't know why. The time that it is warm during the day gets shorter. You get a shorter day. Obviously, it's winter, so it's just not as much hassle. It's just not as big a problem to survive the heat when it's only hitting 25 and it's only doing it for 6 hours. Let's say 10 or 4 is your peak kind of heat. In fact, here in the field, the sun won't even be getting above the tree until I think it was 10:30 at times last winter when I had the 2 smaller solar panels. That's why I struggled to make enough power for my phones and gadgets. But yeah, the summer has broken. You know, summer is it's on its way out. It's not going to be painfully hot all day, every day, and all night, every night from now on. So that's good. Where are we? Into Wednesday morning. Yeah, I didn't have to worry Wednesday. I had the fact that I was doing TrampCast special again that evening. I had that in mind all day, so it was there. It was a worry would be too strong a word, but you know, there's that building feeling. Oh, I've only got 2 hours. I've only got an hour. Oh, I better get ready. So yeah, but I had that feeling, but I didn't have the panic. The notes were already done. It was fantastic. Just wake up, kind of relax, and all I had to do, I had to play back. At this point, I had to play back the previous day's TrampCast. I needed to see where I'd got on both sections. The facts about dogs, where I'd only come down about 4 of the 15 questions, and the questions about Tina, where I was about halfway through the questions specific to Tina. But I had to find my actual stopping point. I didn't want to repeat any or miss any. Oi, oi, Tina, I need a... Oh, are we all still here? How much of that did you hear? I looked away and I was talking while looking away, I think, and the stream almost ended. Let me know if we're back. Yeah? Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where was I? I was mid-sentence when I noticed, and I'm not sure what I was prattling on about. No, it's gone. I was waffling off at a tangent probably, and I don't know where. So anyway, I was saying I didn't go anywhere or do anything Wednesday. I just stayed here. Again, I mean, Tina can't walk far. I want to save the walks that we do for going to the supermarket when we have to, because that's a problem. And because of the way that she's dragging her paws and cutting the tops of her toes, I don't want to grazing the tops of her toes too often. So I'm not going to walk her much. Even our morning walks, where we used to go on the cliff tops, only really done once in the last week, I think. We'll get to that when we get to today, because we almost did a sunrise video today, but didn't. We'll get there, folks. I'm not going to hold you here too much longer. We're coming up on an hour, and I guess within another half hour we'll be done. So my Wednesday was just another day in the camp, in the tent. Whoa, Tina! Tina girl, stop. Stop it. Stop, leave the man alone. Don't mind. She almost knocked my whole setup over. I love her. Okay, so I'm waiting for TrampCast to happen on the Wednesday, and the time comes around and we start. And we had a different type of YouTube shenanigans this time. This time it let me do it in landscape. I think I've got the right day. This time it let me do it in landscape, but it put the black overlay over the top, telling me it wanted me to do it in portrait, telling me to rotate my phone. And I decided to just carry on with the broadcast, but I got to suffer with the black overlay, meaning it's more difficult for me to see what's happening. Can't see the chat. This portrait mode where the chat stays visible, I quite like. The landscape one, where the chat fades away after 5 seconds. Someone posts a message, it comes up. I just see that there's a message and it's gone before I finish reading it. Tina, calm down. It's only a fly. Don't destroy the camp over a fly. Okay, so yeah, I do TrampCast. It messes me about a bit, but again, I enjoy it. I thought it was a good TrampCast. I enjoyed myself. Makes me think. I'm thinking about whether I can come up with any more topics for TrampCast specials. Maybe just topics that are not directly related to me. Maybe something I can just do some facts about and then some questions about. I don't know. I'd enjoy that. I don't know whether that's for you guys or not. You're here for some reason to hear about the life and times of a tramp who's struggling with his parasol. Thank you, Susan, for the parasol. And I said your name right this time. Okay, so after we finished, again, dog walking in, it's become customary now to go inside. But I was on a bit of a high. I'd really enjoyed the 2 TrampCast specials, and somehow I was like in a celebratory mood, might not be the right term, but I was in like an elation, and I entirely forgot about my normal Wednesday night routine. Sorry, Scruff. So folks, Scruff Dog, who was in earlier, I don't know if he still is, but on Wednesdays he does a Lego build, and for the last 9 or maybe 10 weeks, I'm not sure, he's been building Johnny 5 from the film whose name I always forget. Short Circuit, wasn't it? I haven't got it written here, I thought I had, but I remembered it. Johnny 5 comes alive from Short Circuit. Input. So I should have been watching, and it was the final one. It was where he finalised the build, and it never entered my head. I was just in this afterglow from the TrampCast, and I don't know. We finished about 9. I think this might be part of the problem. We finished roughly 9 o'clock because I had to put lights on, and we finished about 9. Then I took the dog for the walk, and then I've got to deconstruct my area. So maybe part of the problem is I only got into the tent at about 10, or just before. So that might explain why I wasn't across on Scruff Dogs at the right time. Was that filmed in Toronto? I know they do a lot of TV and film production in Toronto. I think you give them a lot of good tax breaks. You also asked what are my favourite subjects. If I did do TrampCast specials, I don't know. Sciencey stuff, space, science, maths, I don't know. I'm quite eclectic tastes. I could kind of go almost anywhere. But yeah, when I was at school, I went for the more difficult subjects. Okay. Yeah, I was always attracted to the more difficult subjects. So for example, when I went to university and we had a lot of elective modules in the degree, I tended to go for statistics related ones. Mainly because you can easily score 90% in a maths related course, whereas writing essays you can't score above 70 or 75. It's like an absolute limit that the lecturers won't go above. But with maths, with an S on the end, with maths, your score is your score, and if you score 90 on everything or above, then you're going to average out at 90 or above. Which helps when it came to the way that the grades were aggregated and your final degree was worked out. Oh, religion and English. Oh God, some of my religion comments probably make you run. Don't think we didn't have any religion in this week's numbers, did we? That's unusual. There's usually many, and then I'll make flippant remarks and I'll lose subscribers. Speaking of subscribers, I haven't gained any in the past however many weeks. In fact, I'm still down around, is it 1106? Cheers, Jack Attack. You don't offend easily. That's good. A lot do. I find, God, I'll offend them all and lose them all now. I find religious American people to be quite offendable. Is that the right? That's not even a real word. I'd probably just made that one up. They take offence See, this is the thing about offence. You don't give offence. The person who gets offended takes offence. But yeah, let's not go off on tangents that will get us lost and lose me more subscribers. I was in 1115 a couple of weeks ago, and it's stalled and gone backwards. Possibly, I tend not to know where they're at, but yeah, that could be a point, Stephanie. Yeah. Okay, folks, where did I get to? I'm on the end of Wednesday, and I got in and I missed Scruff Dog and his Johnny 5 Lego build. See, I wrote Johnny 9 here. I got this thing where I paused earlier. I had to think what the number was. You wouldn't think numbers was my thing, would you? Okay, Thursday, much colder night. For the first time, in possibly as much as 5 months. Oh, Tina, that's your water. Do you know how difficult water is for me to get? That's a 5th lot of water you've knocked over in 2 days. Fucking hell. You've wasted a bottle of water. Oh. It's not easy for me to get. Okay. Sorry for shouting, babe. I'm sorry. I'm still your friend, really. Now you're going to knock your food over. Okay, folks, where was I? Thursday morning, colder overnight. For the first time in 5 months, first time in 5 months, I put a cover over myself. I didn't just sleep on the bed. It wasn't a quilt, not a big blanket or anything. I actually used a towel. I got a large towel that acts as like a small blanket. I think I've told you that when I first was made homeless, my bed consisted of 2 picnic blankets wrapped over me, and a couple of towels inside those picnic blankets to act as extra. So the picnic blankets acted as a waterproof outer cover, and the towels inside those acted as the proper blankets to keep me warm. That was when I was living in the field. Probably down to when I first moved here in October the 10th. So yeah. But for the first time in 5 months, I actually put something over me rather than just laying on the top of the bed. It wasn't cold. It just had that little edge. That it was just the wrong side of comfortable. So yeah. So much cooler. Yeah, the night's heading down towards 20, and I think last night made it. I think we got below 20, although I haven't checked officially. So Thursday morning was much more cloudy, and this was a bit of a thing, because for the last few days I've been thinking about cooking. But to cook, I need a good sunny day so that I can collect solar power through the day and run the the slow cooker. Because if I use anything gas or anything, they steal my stuff and threaten to arrest me. So yeah. So but for once this day, because it was cloudy, for once it didn't get too hot through the day. I spent the whole day inside the tent, comfortable. I didn't have to put the nice new fan on. New. It's broken to bits and smashed and held together with duct tape. But it's new to me. I've only had it about a month. But it's fantastic. I should do a video on it one day. I've never even seen this design of fan before. Just a cylinder about 1 metre high and about 4 inches, 10 centimetres or so across. Maybe a bit bigger than that. Maybe 6 inches across. And the whole inside the cylinder, there's a helical helical, I guess, blade. And when the whole thing spins, when the whole inside of the cylinder spins, and it pushes air at me. Wonderful. Far better than a propeller blade type fan. Tina, don't do that. Come away. You're either being a nuisance over there or over here, aren't you? Sit down with Daddy. Sit down with Daddy. Sit down. Come on, sit down and be good. Sit down. You're not going to sit down, are you? You're just going to wander backwards and forwards, being a nuisance at both ends. Oh, yeah, but for once I didn't need my fan, so I could, yeah. So I spent the day trying to manage what little electricity I could, keep the power in the EcoFlow top tub. My normal daily use would use maybe about 20% of the EcoFlow. But if you find yourself for some reason only on 50% one morning, you've got to kind of try and keep it topped up. My rule is to always have it above 50%, because then I can use it overnight, use 10, 12, maybe 15%. And if we have a bad day the day after, I've still got enough to get through 1, maybe 2 more days. So that's my rule, to try and keep the EcoFlow above 50. And today I'm cooking with the slow cooker, and that's difficult because I like to put it on high, get the food hot, then turn the slow cooker off entirely and wait till the EcoFlow recharges, then do it on high again. I find that if I do it just on a low setting all the time, it doesn't get, I've got to get it high to begin with. Maybe later, if I've got enough power, I can put it on the lower setting, and that uses about the same amount of power as is brought in by the solar panel. So I can reach an equilibrium. But I want to get a couple of hours in of it on the full power first. But it's a slow cooker. Full power isn't that full. It's still going to take 5, 6, 8 hours to cook things. So today it's a potato, celery, carrot kind of stew in tomatoes. The liquid is tomato. Bit of oil in the bottom for the potatoes when they first went in. But I didn't even have space for my leeks or my onions, but which is a shame because the leeks are starting to turn. I'll probably eat half of it tonight, and or half between tonight and tomorrow morning. Have it for breakfast. Then I'll maybe top it up with some leeks and onions and put it on again, cook it again. Which I might have to do anyway. The food doesn't really last more than 24 hours anyway, so maybe 36 at a push. In another month, I'll get 3 days out of a pot of stew. But in the height of summer, you're lucky if you get a day and a half. Yeah, it's not fair that they stole all my cooking gear. My gas barbecue and all my pots and pans, plates, ladles, spatulas, plates, cups, everything. They took the bloody lot. And my plastic table. And all of it under the guise of fire risk. It's a fire risk. And it's all recorded. It's all recorded. That will be the one with the Midlands meatballs on a picture of a pig in a police uniform next to a packet of English faggots. I'm not being rude, YouTube. That's what they're called. They're a traditional English meatball from the Midlands, I think. Birmingham or Stoke, Black Country. That's not rude at YouTube. Black Country is the name of the place because during the Industrial Revolution, all the chimneys put out a lot of soot, which they weren't tall chimneys, and all the soot fell on the surrounding towns. Black Country because it became black from the soot. So don't get me on racism. I don't want to be under review. I don't want you demonetizing because might not be suitable for some advertisers. Don't start your shit. I think it was last Sunday's TrampCast that got demonetized. Oh no, it didn't get fully demonetized. It got labelled as might not be suitable for some advertisers. And basically made no money. But yeah, yeah, fairly sure it was the one with the English meatballs on the front. Now I'm distracting myself. Where are we? I was looking at how cloudy it was and commenting that I wanted to cook, but I couldn't. Okay, now this Thursday afternoon, folks, this is where the winds picked up out of nowhere, and because we'd been having it so like standard for so long, I'm kind of out of the habit of checking the weather forecast. We suddenly had 35-kilometre-an-hour winds that I didn't know about in advance, not prepared for, and my tent is now, I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6 months old, and it's been in the brunt of, we had some early storms and winds and things when it was first put up, and it's had the summer sunshine on it all this time, and it's starting to tear in places and get holes, and it's also changing in shape. I've got this thing again where these carbon fibre rods that are the basis of the thing, that form the arches that support the tent. Well, the weight of the tent over time is pulling them down. It's the weight of the roof and they're pulling down. So they're bowing further out, and they pull the walls out. They support the whole walls and everything. So everything's getting that little bit wider and a little bit squatter, which is putting extra pressure on things like zips on the bedrooms and things. Things are just settling and easing outwards, and it's putting extra stress on things. So I got that. So and 35-kilometre-an-hour winds doesn't sound like much. If you live in England where you grew up with 30, 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds, fairly bloody rare. I used to walk down Morecambe Promenade in gale force winds with icy rain in my face, and you know. But now it's a big tent, and if the wind's coming sideways on as it was, and 35 kilometers an hour will be 20, 22, maybe 23 miles an hour for those of you that do miles per hour. Yeah, this tent wouldn't survive 50 kilometers an hour, I don't think. Although my last one, there's film of my last tent in, the whole thing was jellyfishing. It was a smaller, rounder kind of tent, but that survived winds that felt like they were twice as bad as what we just went through. But the weather forecast at the time said there were 40-kilometre-an-hour winds. Bloody bollocks. I'm in a place called Torrevieja, which is how that's the city spelt in the account name, in the channel name. Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja. It's in the southeast on the southeast coast of Spain, in the Alicante region. About an hour south of Benidorm. No, an hour south of Alicante. 2 hours from Benidorm, more or less. Okay, babe. Very good girl. Yeah, so suddenly we had these winds, and you get a gust, and you get the whole tent shaking, and you'll hear noises that sound like fabrics ripping. And I was really worried it was. I was really worried it was going to. And I'd come out every now and again after some huge shake to check. Because there's there's the outer shell of the tent, which is a whole envelope. It doesn't come down to the ground and stop and then have a ground sheet. The whole thing's an envelope. The whole thing's self-contained. And then inside there's 2 bedrooms, well 4 if you want, but 1 at each end, and then a central, I call it my living room. But if there was a rip in the ceiling at this end, in the roof, I wouldn't be able to see it because of the inner bedroom. So a couple of times I came out and just had a look around to check, see if there was any damage. It was building. So yeah, and yeah, then my dog doesn't like, when it gets really windy like that, she doesn't understand things moving on their own. I said, was it last week? No, it might have been in the Tina specials. I said about how she doesn't like it when things move on their own, and if a shop has a plastic or a fabric banner outside and we're walking past and the wind blows, she doesn't. She'll pull literally into the middle of the road. She'll pull right out, and I have to use my full strength to stop. Well, I did have to, not so much anymore. But imagine that you're in a 7 metre by 3 metre tent and the whole thing's shaking in the wind. And then you're hit by a really fuck-off big smack of wind. She shakes, a bit like when it's thunder and lightning. So yeah, that was into the night. And Friday, more wind. And it wasn't, I checked the weather forecast for once, it wasn't due to stop until Saturday afternoon. And it was going to be in the 30 plus kilometres an hour with some peaks and some dips, but basically above 30 for another day and a half. And a lot of sounds, it sounded like rips carrying on. Now, they sounded like rips and they weren't. There was no damage initially until there was. And basically, I'll see if I can show you. I can't show you the other end, but I'll show you from this end. A similar. You see the light colour at the top there, the light flap. It's not pegged out at the minute because it's too fragile. Or it was too fragile in the big wind. But that got ripped quite a while ago. And the flap at the other side, it's a flap that covers the air vent, and you peg it out, open the air vent out, and it also helps stabilise the tent against the wind. But the flap at the other side's gone and done the same, and I tried a similar repair at the other side, and it was just as effective as this, i.e. not effective at all. So basically in big winds I'll have to undo those strings and like they are now and let them just blow freely. Just give it a second. Tina girl. So Timony, you're caught in a loop again, mate. We're getting you in triplicate. But I hope I answered. Torrevieja, southeast coast. So yeah, we got damage on Friday. We got damage. Yeah, like I said, I tried a repair job. It was as unsuccessful as this one. I mean, basically, it was still windy, and I was trying to. I got this big horizontal rip across the flap, and the two ends they wouldn't meet. Even when I loosened the ropes, loosened the lines that, like I said, are holding the tent in place. I mean, they're part of the guy line kind of system. But it's like when my old tent split, when the roof split end to end, 4 metre tent split end to end in one go. And the flaps that were left, you couldn't even pull together. Because once it splits, it pulls apart further. Yeah, so I was trying to do the repair. It's still in the wind, but I had another go after the wind dropped, and it doesn't hold. The tent's covered in dust and muck and what have you, and the tape doesn't want to. It does stick initially, but it doesn't hold under any kind of pressure or tension. Once there's a wind, the tape just doesn't do the job. And it's it's good tape. It just, I guess, if you could take alcohol to the surface and prep it, but I can't. Can't spit the alcohol. No, shush, don't say that. You'll have people. Okay. Now, Friday night comes along. What do we know about Friday night? Friday Night Tights on the Nerdrotic channel. My favourite programme of the week. Certainly one of the top 3. Probably just edges it. Or used to at least. Or used to. I caught the first hour. Fell asleep. Woke up during the closing credits. Then they do a bonus hour over on Rumble, a different platform, because it's their insurance against YouTube. I turned over to it, so about 5 minutes of this bonus hour. Woke up for the closing credits. What can you do? What can you do? Yeah. Now, I fall back asleep, as I said, and this is where I dream that it's raining. It's raining in my dream. And I am fast asleep, I am. And when I wake up a couple of hours later, and I think I had to come and check on the EcoFlow or something. I had to come and do something in the living room part of the tent. And I stand right in front of the doorway. I stand right in front of the doorway, which has got this, it's got a broken door. The door doesn't zip. I'm going to have a go at repairing the zip again. But the zip at the minute has come off the track entirely. I need to do a different type of repair this time. But it was windy, so I didn't want to, because the wind was coming from that side, I didn't want to have like a full broadside solid tent kind of thing. If I could have put either the main door on or the mesh net, the mosquito net. Tina, that's enough. Let's have a bit of quiet. He's well gone. So I decided to leave the door this side and the door that side open. Well, I had the mosquito net closed at this side, but this side I had totally open. And like I said about the arch, and the door comes up and into the roof kind of thing. And so as the water's running off the arched roof, and suddenly there's no fabric and it all drops inside. So as I've stepped out to come and do something with the EcoFlow, I've stepped in a pool of water, got a wet foot, and there's a pool of water on top of the EcoFlow, which I pour off. Tina, that is enough. Sit down and shush. Quiet, quiet. She's guarding me against intruders. Tina, stop it, darling. Stop. Stop it. Okay, like I said, I dreamt it was raining and it turns out it was. And my door was wide open and water was running into the tent. But it only takes a couple of hours to evaporate at these kind of temperatures that we're at the minute. It's not a big deal. The biggest deal was having a pool of water sat on top of the EcoFlow, you know, a big electronic device with lots of power stored in it. What does it store? 1/4 kilowatt hour? Tina, if I have to come and stab you with the other end of this brolly, I will. I won't, but... Shut up. Now look. Now my brolly's moved. Yeah. Okay, where are we? Friday night into Saturday morning and a foot in the water. But imagine that, I dreamt that it rained. So on some level I was conscious of, well, yeah. I was unconscious, but my subconscious mind was aware of the fact it was raining. But it just couldn't wake me up, I was too tired. So yeah. So into Saturday. And this is where I get a bad I don't know how much to tell you about this. Tina girl, will you shut the fuck up? I get a bad stomach. I'm living in a field, there's no loo. 3 times in the night I'm running out of the tent and I have to take her with me because she barks if she's not with me. So I've got the whole performance of getting her ready, getting her legs untangled, getting her over there without getting tangled or falling over. What is this noise? The person just dragging shit backwards and forwards. It's metallic and it's setting the dog off. Is it a trolley or something? Or one of these, is it a scooter? Oh, he's shoveling some shit, isn't he? Okay, it's probably... We get builders dumping rubbish. They're just... Because the land is just rough and ready, they figure they can just come and throw any stones or whatever they've got out and around and about. Okay. We're into set here. Lots of running around to the trees and back. The day, cloudy all morning again. And sometime in the late afternoon, there were little breaks in the cloud. The sun did get through periodically, but the late afternoon, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun properly got out. So it never got stupid hot. It was another not too bad a day. So there was no need to panic about the heat or put the fan on or any of that. Okay, really nothing else to say about except oh, I had to go to the shop again. I forgot something. This. I don't like having to go to the shop more than once a week. Because Tina struggles with the walk. Because Tina struggles with the walk, and I think it's hurting her legs. I think it was a woman. But yeah, I had to go to the shop again. Couldn't help it. Had to be done. But like I said, she's getting worse. She was slower getting there, but coming back, she was positively skipping and hopping and jumping. I think because bouncing makes sure her paws are off the ground, and she must notice how much easier it is coming down the hill. But yeah, poor dog. I think she's on her way out. But yeah. Okay, back to camp, and it'll soon be time for Big Clive, which I managed to watch this week, and Scruff Dog, which I managed to watch this week. I managed to watch them both, although I was flagging by the end. But for once, I managed to watch both of my programs. First time in over a month, maybe 6 weeks. I mean, for 4 weeks of it, Clive wasn't there, and then last week I missed him. I didn't realise he was on. I think that was last week. So for the first time in quite a while, I managed to watch both of my Saturday night programs. But then there's another program on after that I would usually want to watch. I managed to put it on, but I fell asleep, and it was just background noise in my sleep. Yeah, and I need to get her to the vet, but I'm not in a position to do that at the minute, and there aren't any free ones around. I'm going to contact one of these albergs around, one of these dog sanctuaries, and ask if they know of any charitable vet that would take a look at her and kind of confirm that yes, it's something serious, or if possible refute it and say, no, you fool, she just needs this. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's me that's done something wrong, and I don't know, something missing from her diet, or an injection of something to put something right. But I have my suspicions that it's more serious than that. I have my suspicions. I watched House a lot, House MD. I got good at guessing the outcome. Too good. Okay, so I slept through this other program that I would have liked. It was on in the background for quite a few hours, but yeah. Now, Sunday morning, and I've still got the bad guts. So I have to rush me and her out. And while I'm out, I decide to take her for a walk. And we go to the end of the road here. and she actually seemed to want to go for a longer walk, and it was just starting to become light, so I knew it was going to be sunrise in the next 10 minutes or so. But we're walking around the corner, and I realised I haven't brought my phone with me, because of the circumstances of jumping out of bed for the reason that I needed to jump out of bed. Normally I would get up and take it for a walk, and I would put my phone in my pocket, so if ever I get robbed, at least I'm in contact with the world. But this time, because of the circumstances, I jumped up and out of bed and had to rush out, and then afterwards we'd gone for our walk. But you almost got a Sunday morning sunrise video, but my guts didn't allow it, folks. My guts didn't allow it. But it's been a sunny day. A little bit warmer than the last few days, but not crazy hot. But it's been warmer. And as I said, I've had the solar panel, and that means I've been able. I haven't checked how my, I don't know what to call it, but my vegetable stew, let's call it. I was going to put. I've got some spicy chili peppers. I was going to put 1 or 2 of those in, and I forgot. I've only just kind of remembered. And they're getting old, so those need using. The outer skin will be coming a bit leathery any day now. Maybe in the morning when I put leeks and everything else in and redo it, I'll add some onion leeks and these spicy peppers, and give it another few hours of cooking. That should work. That should work. But yeah, so today I did some cooking. What else? Oh, okay, yeah, the sun means electricity. I did my cooking, or I am doing my cooking, and my friend Ismo came around for his final visit this year. Yeah, this time. He's going back home to Finland. He got an extra couple of months' work. Normally he does coach driving between ski resorts and the actual ski slopes, driving people around these different venues, but that's not till later in the year. But he's got a couple of months of work to fill in between. So thank you for everything this time, Ismo, and gonna miss you, mate. Gonna miss you, and Tina will miss you as well. And of course I had to tell him that this might be the last time that he sees Tina. Hey, Uncle Ismo. No, he's not here, mate. He's not here. No, come on. You only have to say his name. She starts looking around for him. So yeah, the rest of my day, folks, and this is the end now, the rest of the day is prepping for TrampCast. Getting this page of notes done. Now I understand why everyone was telling me it was upside down last time. It's not, it's reversed left to right. The side with the pen is the left edge of the page. But when you watch it back, that'll be the right. But yeah, I had to write up my notes and prepare, find out the facts about 45. I could have probably dug in deeper there and got a few more. Yeah, it's flipped. That's probably a setting somewhere, either in the camera or in YouTube, but probably not within the YouTube, not within the main YouTube app. Probably have to go on the website or something. Like most of these settings, the YouTube Studio app shows so little compared to the website. But loading the website on your phone is just painful. Lots of pinch to zoom kind of stuff on the web page, and then messing about, and then not realizing that there's a submit button at the top of the page off screen. Anyway, folks, upcoming. I haven't got anything. I got nothing in mind that's happening this next week. I may find something. I may think of a topic and do a TrampCast special. Maybe, if I can think of a topic. But failing that, it's just survival. It's just plodding on until same time next week, folks. I'll try and do a video or two in the week. and not just snippets from this, but I'll try and do something proper. If you're really lucky, I might add another chapter to the audio book that I've been doing and that I haven't touched for a couple of weeks. 3 Men in a Boat. Check it out. There's a what did I call the playlist? Audio books read by a tramp, or audio books read by a hobo, something like that. There's a playlist on my channel. If you go to my channel page and look for playlists, there's only 3. I think there's the preface and 3 chapters at the minute, possibly 4. Not sure. But if you're lucky and you ask nicely, I'll do another chapter or 2. Set browser to desktop. Yeah. And then just scroll around all over the place. Okay, folks. Thank you everybody for your questions and for your involvement and just for being here. Thank you everyone. I shall try and do the traditional outro, if she'll allow me, and if the YouTube app will allow. Tina, go. Hi, babe. Come here. From Tina. Oh, yeah. And from me, Delta Mike. Hold on.